Hi, you're listening to
The
the
Four
Takeaway
Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything on the menu from movies, music, gossip, news, etc. through the eyes of four rather weird individuals.
I'm Heiko.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Hamad,
I'm Yas.
and in this episode, Heiko and Hanna will present some news, myths, and conspiracy theories related to COVID 19.
For takeaway.
Would you like that for dining?
Or for takeaway.
For takeaway.
Orders up.
Do we have a sponsor
Okay.
yet?
I hope so.
Spotify.
Mom.
She's kind of like our campaign. No. Our what
Patreon.
manager?
Patreon. Or GoFundMe.
Anyway, this is our 4th episode.
Hey.
For those who are still listening to us or
hey,
who just started
hey.
listening to us, thank you very much.
If you just started, listen to the first 3. They're cool.
And there will be more.
It's only
How are
bound to
you
get
guys?
better from here.
Uh-huh. True.
No one's listening to Yasin.
Oh,
Aw.
He asked us how we were. How are we?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
we're good. We're good.
What does that mean?
I'm excited. I'm just excited because Heiko and I have prepared something interesting and quite controversial, if I may say so.
Ooh. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun.
Yeah, true. We're doing something that no one else has ever done before. We're gonna talk
That's
about.
sarcasm.
See, that's that thing we have going on. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
sarcastic. Sometimes I'm being totally sincere. But Hannah wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yes, and the way you deliver everything is just so deadpan. Like, even if you're very sarcastic, you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
I've been told.
Yeah,
It's
I know a
something
brother
I'm
of mine
working
who's
on.
also like that.
True.
Yeah,
Never
yes.
mind.
Moving on, guys. What was your last drink? Like any drink.
Oh, water.
Gahwa
Mhm.
or Arabic coffee. Oh, that was a very good sound effect.
Yeah. What's yours, Heiko?
I'm currently having ice cold coffee with just a dash of soy
Ooh.
milk to give it that planty touch.
That sounds nice.
Is that a transition?
It
That's
is. It
happening?
is. I'm talking about drinks
Oh.
because
Ooh.
for quite an alarming number of people these days, things like bleach and other disinfectants seem to be a suitable drink.
Oh, we heard. We heard.
What?
It looks like disinfectants
Oh.
have become a drink of choice for some people in some areas of the world.
Endorsed by Mr. Cheeto. So
By Mr. Cheeto.
Oh.
With those incredible small,
Yeah.
incredibly small hands. No, okay, I'm going to tell you the story.
let's go.
Because when I first read that Donald Trump endorses or was like suggesting to drink disinfectants or bleach to help prevent or fight the coronavirus disease, I didn't want to believe it because I thought, okay, it might have been something that just 9gag came up with or 4chan
Or
people came
onion,
up with.
right?
Or just
Onion.
the Onion or some other satire site or platform. Then I looked into it. And did you actually see that press conference where he did that? Where he just,
Yes.
where that all came from?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Crazy. April 23rd.
There's a video evidence.
Oh boy.
Yeah, although, okay, let me just give you the quote. It's not much of a quote, it's just what he said and what most people think is that actual advice to go ahead and inject some Lysol. How do you say it? Lysol?
Lysol.
Lysol. Okay, so the guy said, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And there's a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost cleaning. Because you see, it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it would be interesting to check that so that you're going to have to use medical doctors with, but it sounds interesting to me. I wasn't like actively trying to do a Trump impression. So he was referring to his associate. His name is William Bryan. He's a Department of Homeland Security official who previously summarized some results of some experiments about how ultraviolet light or applying disinfectants like bleach could actually kill the coronavirus, right? But he was referring to surfaces, like hard surfaces that did not belong to the body.
Right.
So, and then Trump goes ahead and says, okay, if that's the case, we might as well maybe try to inject it. Sounds interesting.
Maybe it was a joke.
Yeah, right. Because a day later, he said that he was actually being sarcastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A day later, though,
Yeah.
after he had a talk with some people.
Right.
After his
he said-
whole staff tried to convince him that it was not a good idea, he settled on saying that it's a joke.
Yeah, and literally all the doctors on the internet, every health professional just came out on Twitter just saying something like, I don't believe I have to say this, but please don't drink bleach. Don't inject yourself with Lysol or what else there is.
And it's not just
And,
medical professionals, it's just everyone.
Right. Yeah, everyone,
common
you could
sense.
at this point speak of common sense, right?
Yep.
Right.
Although we have to admit that strictly speaking, he didn't say something like, go ahead and inject yourself, but he was like speculating on the possibilities of doing that.
He was more like thinking aloud
Right.
at that point.
Just
yeah.
spitballing everything that comes out.
Well, yeah, that might not be the greatest of ideas in a country that does the tight pod challenge.
Well,
True.
it was.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't that international?
I think
It started, it rooted
became-
there.
It's
it
probably
became
rooted there,
international, yeah. So, and then I think even a day later than that press conference, all those health companies or manufacturers of Lysol and all those disinfectants, they had to come up with a message, right? So all those PR people, those people in public relations, they had to think of a message to tell people not to drink bleach, but it still had to be serious because that's like their image, right? And RB, the company that produces or that manufactures Lysol, they said, as a global leader in health and hygiene products, we must be clear that under no circumstance should our disinfectant products be administered into the human body through injection, ingestion,
Oh my God.
or any other route. As with all products, our disinfectant and hygiene products should only be used as intended and in line with the usage guidelines. Please read the label and safety information.
Oh boy.
But still, people went ahead and drank bleach. So
Well, our president told us to, so we're gonna do it.
True. So first of all, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts were, this is quite a normal thing to hear from this certain person, so I don't think it would come as a surprise for.
Yeah, it's shocking, but it's not surprising.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Probably said it for the shock value.
Yeah, there was some agenda behind that.
Maybe.
Maybe
But
he
yeah,
was
I
just trying
also
to thin out the population so that when they recover from the coronavirus, they're gonna have more resource to distribute to the population. You know what I'm saying?
true, or he could just be joking. We'll
Could be.
never know.
There's
Yeah, he was
endless
being
possibilities.
sarcastic, right?
Could be. Is he
Yeah.
known to be sarcastic, or is he just more insulting in your face?
I think
Or
both.
is everyone just looking at him and his sarcasm the way Hanna looks at me? Because she's never able to tell, and sometimes I'm being sarcastic.
Maybe.
Oh no! It's hard to discern your sarcasm from your serious talking, from your monotone and that kind of thing, right? But for him, it's more like he's crazy.
Yeah, because of what he says, because of what the.
Because of how
Content.
he's perceived already, like even before he says
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, if you look like a Cheeto, you're bound to have some dust in your
Oh my
brain.
god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'd say even like in a country like the USA, maybe just standing there idly speculating on these things would be enough to trigger some reckless experimentation. Which
Bound to
yeah.
be. Bound to be.
yeah. And even sarcasm doesn't have any place, in my opinion, in a discussion like that.
True.
It's a
Especially
state of
when you have
to
emergency.
explain it
It's not
after.
the time for jokes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's
And-
responded by saying, I was asking that question sarcastically to reporters like you just to see what would happen. And we
Eh,
saw what happened. Experiment.
that's just some classic backpedaling
Yeah, but the
right
thing
there.
is, you're kind of like stating you're having a
State of the
of
nation.
national address, state of no something.
State of the nation address.
Yeah, you're like right in front of the podium,
You're
and
addressing your
then
nation.
right in front of the press, the national press, and then you're addressing nation's questions about this highly controversial and very dangerous pandemic going on right now that's killing no, are we
No, not
reaching
yet.
millions? Not yet.
Hundreds and
Hundreds of
thousands.
thousands of people,
Or
So-
not ever, maybe, hopefully.
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 Ugh.
And I understand if it was like a random interview and he was like trying to be, it's like it's a mood thing, you know, like
Yeah,
reading
read
the
the
audience
room.
and reading the place, but it wasn't the right time and place. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't called for.
Right.
So there's this little recording of the same press conference, but from a different angle,
Oh, no.
where it just keeps zooming in on the face of his advisor, who's a physician, whose name escapes me at the moment, but you just see her face while he's just elaborating on his thoughts of injecting possibly
Oh.
deadly disinfectants into your body. And she just keeps on losing her faith, if that was even possible, like with every second that passes. You should give that a watch. So yeah, coming back to the PR thing, to the messages. I'm always thinking about those poor people in the PR department who have to write those things, right? So imagine
Yeah.
there's a guy sitting in front of the computer, and the supervisor just comes in and says, "Okay, get this. We need a message to tell people, like not too profane, to tell people that they shouldn't ingest or inject our product."
Right.
No, you're joking, right? You're not serious, right? No, we need it 10 minutes or you're fired. Go. And as someone who's done that in his job, I can relate, and that's a very poor position, or a very difficult position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at this point, I thought we can continue our Trump bashing. We could analyze why people take this remark and think it's suddenly okay to drink bleach or other disinfectants. We could do so many things, but I thought what the internet really likes are top 10 lists. Right?
Yeah.
Like top
Yes.
10 best barrels in Skyrim, top 10 vegan pancake recipes.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Your sister just showed me something. That was nice. Top 34 reasons to marry
Oh
and
my
date a Filipino
goodness.
woman.
Oh wow.
Oh. Oh.
But it was so
Okay,
weird because in that
okay.
article it wasn't like a legit article at all, because in that it's about this guy who just had a horrible experience with his Thai ex, and now is with the Filipina, and everything that he
Wait.
stated there,
The guy's white.
yeah,
Okay.
and
okay.
everything that he stated there was like basically kind of like showing that a woman is also not just a girlfriend or a wife material, but also a pet material.
What?
Or an object.
Excuse me. Is that like
Yeah, your Filipina will love you and make you her world. Your Filipina will not
Oh
at
my
all
god.
like
You're
you.
Filipina?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
like a
that was his term.
Wow. Or a
Oh
kink
my
or-
god.
I don't even know.
And if you're- And when
Let's
you're done
just
with your
move on to
Filipina, you
more
can store it
important
in the
matters.
basement.
Trump and COVID.
Oh please, sweetheart, call me your Filipina.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
No.
Your mom is going to listen to that, right?
COVID.
Hope not.
COVID-19.
I just did a top 5 list, okay? Just to keep it short and simple.
Okay,
Um,
top 5.
With the entries just becoming more and more ridiculous as we go.
Ooh.
But
Exciting.
the first one is actually, okay, the first two are actually like really helpful. Number 1, COVID remedy myth would be keep your mouth moist and drink a lot of water to prevent
Oh, yeah.
infection. Have you heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they state the reason?
Preferably warm water, right?
Okay, so from what I could discern, or from my research, people seem to think that the virus can attach itself better to a dry throat, because that's where the virus attacks, apparently, just the throat. And if it's dry, there's a higher risk to catch the infection. And by keeping it moist, you can supposedly prevent infection.
The virus would just
Okay,
go,
but-
ew, water.
Yeah, right. No, guys, let's just go ahead and go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, technically, this is not dangerous because staying hydrated is super
very
good.
helpful.
Go ahead, do that. But if
And for
that's
your
where you-
immune system, yes, sure.
Hmm.
sure. But if
Keep
you're like
hydrated.
putting all your hope in that, maybe you should think of a different
I
strategy.
also
but-
saw another reason for that back in the early days, in the early heydays of the spread of the virus. They said
Back
that
in your
You
day.
mean, like a few months ago.
they said that you have to keep drinking water because in case that the virus has settled in your tongue or at the back of your throat, if you drink
Yeah,
water,
yes,
it'll
yes,
wash
yes.
it down to your digestive system and into your stomach, where your
And then-
stomach acids are
Acid
gonna
kills it.
kill it.
And then you
right?
just poop it out.
So
Mhm.
funny. I love that one. That was the
Oh
best.
my god! I
Also
was like,
garlic.
where did we
There's
get
so
Wait,
this?
many.
shh.
It was on Facebook. Of course it would be, right?
Yeah. So if it's on the internet, it must be true.
Facebook
Yay.
doctors.
Yeah, this.
Just
So we're
like entry
addressing
number
this to
2.
all Facebook people. All
Not just
um,
Facebook people.
elders.
You totally crushed my segue there.
The explosive people, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What was that? If it's on Facebook, then it must be true. Just like entry number 2.
Uh-oh.
You should stock up on supplementals.
Oh my god.
Supplementals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I get that. People think it says vitamin B on the pack, and vitamin B, vitamin C on this little packet, on this little, what do you call those? This little,
Packs?
not just the packs, like those little bottles.
Oh, the,
Oh, pill
yeah.
box.
Prescription
Pill-
bottles.
Yeah, pill
I
bottles.
guess bottles.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your help. And you think, okay, we need vitamin C for our immune system, so let's just chug them.
Let's go to the nearest store, Sari store, or
Yeah,
like
when-
the street store,
And this.
and get
this
a vitamin C.
And this is still a thing when a lot of doctors and a lot of medical professionals already are coming out and saying supplements don't help. What helps is a good balanced diet
Bro.
where you actually
Exactly.
can get vitamins,
Mm-hmm.
real vitamins, and not just waste your money on supplements that do nothing.
Number
Yeah.
2 is
Well,
a
you
very
just also
personal
have
attack
to-
for me. I'm getting called out. Because right
Why?
now we've just been bombarded by a ton of Fern C packets.
But to be honest, I think it depends on the supplement that you are taking, from where it comes from, and if it's like a legit supplementary thing. Because I mean, or maybe
Prescribed
it's
by a
just
doctor.
placebo for me.
Yeah, it doesn't
Preferably.
exist.
Okay, yeah, that's basically it. So there's
Yeah.
no scientific evidence whatsoever that I mean, the worst thing that can happen, or the only thing that can happen if you really chug bottles of those vitamin C tablets or pills, is that your kidney or your liver take damage.
Yep.
Because there's actually a thing as too much vitamin C, but there are also
Right.
what other supplements are there, like zinc and algae and green
Omega
tea.
3.
Yes.
Oh, and essential oils.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, sounds good. Sounds healthy.
Speaking of essential oils, I just read an article because we were trying to look for homemade food for a cat, and the way that people prepare their cat food, it's amazing. They'll be
So
like,
bougie.
yeah, they'll be like cooking or baking stuff, and then like sprinkling vitamins and essential oils for the cat.
Essential
Yeah,
oils.
just so the cat could finally say, "What the f is this human?
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat
Yeah.
that."
We
Meow,
shouldn't
meow.
put that much effort onto Alfric. I'm not saying because we should be lazy. I'm saying because it'll go right into his head. Like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're
because-
see.
doing this for
Yeah.
me.
Alfric is he's he's very demanding. He's a very demanding cat.
Speaking of cats, top 3. I don't know.
Cats have 9 lives divided by 3. That's number 3.
Okay,
Yay!
okay. Right, yeah, that's good. Entry number 3. Blow drying your face and nose
What?
helps prevent the coronavirus.
Sorry, I just
Wait,
screamed into
I
my
thought the
mic.
first one said keep your throat moist, and then now you have to blow dry your face.
Yeah,
Oh.
I never said that all these myths that
Oh,
I'm
right.
stating
Yeah,
like,
that
would
explains it.
not contradict each other. So
You
there's a
blow
persistent
dry your
myth out
face.
there that hot.
Wait, this is so funny. Like the image of you just blow drying your face. Continue.
You would do
What
that,
if you
right?
walk into your friend or your relative or your mom's
And then she's just
bedroom
like,
and she's like,
It's
what?
for the COVID. And then he starts doing it to you. Like, get that away from me.
So, well, there's been there's been this persistent myth that hot air, like or saunas, can kill off the
Yeah,
coronavirus.
I heard that.
And I mean, sauna, right, does boost your immune system. I think that's been established, and maybe that's where it's from. I've never
Okay.
been to a sauna, right?
I
Not
think
to a
it's
real one.
because, you cook your food to kill the bacteria.
So you're gonna cook yourself?
So if you partially cook yourself,
But I never blow dry my food.
oh yeah,
True. So what happened? What do they say the
Wait,
blow drying
blow
does?
dry your food.
The face.
Oh, the
Let's
face.
go back to
Face.
the face.
Okay.
No, okay. So there's just been like Facebook posts and all that gave the advice to, well, if you don't have a sauna available, you can just use a blow dryer and point it at your mouth or your nose to kill off the coronavirus. Can you imagine that? Imagine a guy just
Oh my
sitting there, aiming his blow dryer at his mouth,
into his
up his
mouth.
nose.
Gosh.
Okay. Even went so far that the World Health Organization, that's what WHO stands for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. They have said that hand dryers alone do not have any impact on the coronavirus. Hand dryers and blow dryers.
I love how they have to say.
Yeah, right. That's the bizarre part.
Mm.
And putting a blow dryer up your face or up your nose, your mouth, can, worst case, can cause damage without having any impact on the coronavirus whatsoever. So
Yes.
just don't do that. What a weird way to, I don't know, to go
Why
ahead
do you
and
need to
fight
blow
a
dry
virus.
your hands? Just wash them. Just wash your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Simpler.
Wash your face. Wash your body. Take a shower, a bath, or anything.
Damn. So you see this curve that's going on. Like I said, the first ones are actually pretty
Okay.
okay,
Almost
down to earth,
believable.
and this one is more in the ridiculous part.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now go to number 4 and 5. Let's see how ridiculous they get.
Cats with four legs.
Okay. Don't pressure me, okay? Okay. Number 4, drinking alcohol reduces the risk of infection.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
I
classic.
remember
Makes
this.
total sense. Makes total sense, right? It disinfects your skin, the surfaces, your hands,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, but
So
they
why
actually
would-
don't mean alcoholic drinks. They mean the alcohol.
Medical.
The medical thing that you have to drink.
You have to drink the medical thing.
Yeah,
No, you don't. Don't do that.
Oh.
No,
Yeah,
the
don't do
myth.
that.
The
That's
myth
thing.
is.
that's what Trump
alcohol
said.
is
No, I mean, yeah, that was a joke.
And well, when I back in the day when I used to work at bars and clubs and all that, there's this saying, this proverb that, hey, you should drink a shot of vodka just to disinfect your body from the inside.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a joke. And I think there are people out there who actually take that seriously.
Believe it. Yeah.
They
do
think
that.
that Corona fights Corona.
I saw this.
I see what you
like,
did there.
Video
Well,
clip
negative times negative
once
equals
where-
positive.
where some dude says, like, he's getting drunk. He says, one of his friends says, why do you drink so much? Because isopropyl alcohol fixes outside boo boos, and drinking
Oh,
actual alcoholic
boo-boos.
beverages fixes inside boo boos.
Oh,
Okay.
how old is this person?
Middle aged.
Oh,
You mean like from the Middle Ages, like me?
No.
That's what Hanna would say. Okay.
number
so, yeah.
5.
No, just I thought every entry should like end with a little PSA?
Oh,
Oh,
okay, yes.
don't do
sure.
this.
PSA here. Don't do that.
Yeah,
There we go.
don't get drunk.
Don't do that either.
Don't be an
I mean,
alcoholic.
No, be an
especially the
alcoholic
ones that-
during
the-
COVID.
especially this high strength how do you say it? Ethanol
Mm-hmm.
that makes you go blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Severe health consequences, including death. Just don't.
#don't.
Right. Hashtag don't. Okay, and here's number 5. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this.
Oh boy.
I hope we are.
Okay. Okay, no, I'll just go over the first 4. Like, you should stock up on supplementals, keep your mouth moist, drink a lot of water, blow drying your face and hair helps prevent the coronavirus, drinking alcohol reduces the risk of infection, and number 5, ingesting fish tank cleaner helps prevent the coronavirus as well.
Yes. There was this politician in the U.S. who was like, "Oh,
No.
this chemical sounds promising." What was the chemical? Was it
I
Trump?
think the politician you're talking about is Donald Trump.
Oh.
So I have this story here. There was this time back in the day when this certain president of the United States that we've been talking about was promoting a medication or a drug that was used to treat malaria, which contains a chemical called hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah. I remember this.
Queen.
Queen. No wonder it can.
You try it.
Cure COVID.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Wow. Was that?
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of the word and people who believe that fish tanks can cure.
tank
Cleaner,
cleaner.
not fish tank.
Just drink the
Oh my
fish tank,
God.
bro.
Fish
just,
tank
just
cleaner.
throw
I
a
missed-
fish tank on someone.
I missed the
Moisturize your
word.
throat with this fish tank.
So
Okay.
this chemical that is a part of this malaria medication drug can also be found in an additive that is used to clean fish tanks. Yeah, a fish tank cleaner. So he was promoting this drug and this certain part of it, and there was this discussion that this chemical that I'm not going to pronounce again can help fight off the coronavirus, which was enough for, and here's where it gets rather sad, which was enough to make or to convince a couple of elderly people in Arizona
Oh no.
to just go ahead, grab their fish tank cleaner that contained this specific chemical, but in a raw, concentrated form, right? And just ingest it.
Gosh.
The
Do
man
we know what
died.
happened to them? Oh.
The man died. She survived
see,
barely. And
With this case, like it happened already, Trump went on to be like, "Oh, I'm going to test and see what's going to happen if I say that when you ingest Lysol and bleach, it could cure coronavirus." He did that after this happened.
so
Oh.
the man died. She survived, and in an interview after that, she said that we saw Trump on TV, every channel, and all of his buddies said that this was safe. The woman was talking to NBC, and she also said Trump kept saying it was basically pretty much a cure. And I think this concludes our top 5. And no, what I want to end this with would be her PSA. The thing that she said on the interview was that she just said, don't take anything, don't believe anything that the president says and his people. Call your doctor. End of quote.
Yes. Call
Yeah.
your doctor. If it's on the internet, if it's not from CDC or WHO, don't believe it.
Right.
Oh.
Oh, and also, if it's on Facebook, just don't. Look for
don't.
another source. Please, not Facebook. Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
If you see if you see one of those fact things on Facebook, look for it off of Facebook too.
Yes.
You think it's
Fact check.
There's a lead
Please
here.
fact check.
Before you start eating, ingesting something, look for it from a more credible source.
Yeah, and you don't actually even. The thing is, right now you don't even need to look for more sources. WHO and CDC gives you so much, and they're always the first to give you the best.
And
If they're
I
not
just
telling you
wanted to
to do it,
actually,
don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
and I actually wanted to comment on the PSAs of WHO. Oh my goodness, you guys, they've been through a lot that they had to address a lot, or hundreds of just ridiculous amounts of myths and stuff. And I'm actually going to also
debunk them.
yeah, to debunk them. And they have this now a Mythbuster page on on their site. So if you have any doubts on what you're hearing or what you're reading, go there and see for yourself. And I don't want to ask you about reactions, and I also don't want to say reactions yet on what Heiko talked about, because it's very connected to what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to address some conspiracy theories about how COVID-19 started. And there are a lot, but we're going to be focusing on, I would say, like the 4 biggest myths that people believe. Actually 3, and then the other is just a mini one. So as the COVID-19 spreads, the conspiracy theories about it spread even faster. But this is not new, because back then in the plagues and pandemics before, this already happened. Like Jews were shunned during the bubonic plague, yeah, in the 1500s. During the 1918 Spanish flu, people feared it was being deliberately spread by Germans.
Was? You
Heiko,
spelled germs
yes.
wrong.
During the 2015 Zika pandemic, conspiracy theorists claimed that the virus was bioengineered by the Monsanto Corporation, which is an American agrochemical and agricultural biotechnology corporation. So there has been a lot of conspiracies about other pandemics. So this is not new, but right
Die
now,
Deutschen. It's always the Germans, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if it was the Germans, why'd they call it Spanish flu?
because it's for the people in Spain. Maybe.
You know, that's what autocorrect sometimes does. It sometimes changes like germs to Germans.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, God.
I've come across an article which said that certain things, certain, I don't know, disinfectants can actually prevent the spread of Germans. But I couldn't find a way to include this here. Maybe it does even.
Anyway, it's quite surprising how fast, though, when it comes to the COVID-19 conspiracy theories, because in just like a span of 4 months, the amount of conspiracy theories about this is growing. That
Yes.
Psychology Today even calls it a pandemic of conspiracy theories, or infodemic.
That is a very
Ooh,
true
I like that.
statement.
I mean, I don't like
so-
the phenomenon, but I like that idea, that notion.
The term.
Yeah. So let's just dive in. I picked a few to dive into and may mention the more ridiculous ones just for laughs later. But let's start with the classic one. And this is, I think, one of the first conspiracy theories that were that appeared when COVID-19 started spreading, and that is that it came from a leak from Wuhan laboratory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this, guys, was quite scary because until now, there are still people who believe it. In fact, in a recent poll, 29% of Americans believe that SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, was deliberately made in the lab.
True.
So back in
Yeah,
so
I
back
heard
in
that.
February, there was a scientific paper. It's like a research paper that suggests that a laboratory in Wuhan, China, may be the origin of COVID-19. This lab in question is the Wuhan Institute of Virology for intense scrutiny because it has a laboratory at the highest security level. It's biosafety level 4, and the researchers the researchers there study coronaviruses from bats, including the one that is closest to SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. So they said that this virus was bioengineered in the lab, or that a lab worker was infected while handling a bat and then transmitted the disease to others outside the lab. So it was two Chinese scientists who published. There were two Chinese scientists who published a paper on ResearchGate. So ResearchGate is a website where you can find a vast amount of research, but you always have to be careful because not a lot of them is peer reviewed and not a lot of them is valid, because people could just post there. So you actually have to read comments and
Fact check.
fact checked it. So anyway, the paper claims that COVID-19 may have come from an accidental leakage in Wuhan Center of Disease Control and Prevention due to high-risk behavior and bad operational security. The paper also claimed that 27 of the 41 cases reported in Wuhan at that time contracted the virus from Hunan seafood market, which was thought to be the origin of the epidemic and was shut down at that time, because they were saying that in that paper they were saying that it was just 280 meters from the laboratory.
Yes. Let's have a fish market close to a virology laboratory.
Yeah, so I found this Twitter account that is run by a group of volunteer open source intelligence organization in Hong Kong. So they have both professional and amateur investigators who were looking into the Hong Kong protests before, but now they've dedicated their network to investigating COVID-19. So they were the first ones who learned about this article, and they were one of the first who posted this article on their Twitter. They posted a picture of this research paper just like a few minutes before it was deleted.
Oh, someone's covering up.
Yeah, so there's
No.
and what's worse, like in this paper, they talked about they identified 2 laboratories conducting research on bat coronavirus that was 280 meters from the market. And then this WHCDC hosted animals in laboratories for research purposes. And then, there was this one expert who was noted for his contributions in this work, and he was broadcasted for collecting viruses on nationwide newspapers and websites. He described that he was once attacked by bats and the blood of a bat shot on his skin. He knew the extreme damage of the infection, so he quarantined himself for 14 days. This is an exact quote from the research paper.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's also a video posted on YouTube by China Science Communication in December 2019 showing scientists from Wuhan Center of Disease Prevention and Control collecting bat samples to test for viruses. And I've seen the video. It's actually there. It's a video. But again, they don't know if this is true or valid, but it's there. The video is there. Also, what's very interesting is within 24 hours of this paper being published, Chinese state media started talking about a stronger biosecurity regulation being situated. And at this point, they did not yet confirm anything about COVID-19. Then at 7 p.m., the paper was brought to the attention of this Twitter account in Hong Kong, and then the research was quickly deleted.
Oh. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
Dun.
But the thing is, if you actually read the paper, because there's a PDF file posted there, there's also screen captures of the paper, it's very questionable. People have to know and must take note that the PDF of this research paper is hosted in an account believed to be a very unreliable source.
Oh, unreliable.
It's called Zero Hedge Scribd, and it wasn't published anywhere outside ResearchGate, so there's no DOI. So if you guys don't know what DOI is, it's called digital object. It refers to digital object identifier, which is used for researches that are backed by publications. So most of those that have DOIs are peer reviewed and
Mm-hmm.
valid.
Cool.
So of course this could entirely be a badly researched
Mm.
paper, let alone a real one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the paper doesn't also have a rather academic language to it, so
It's
very on the
informal.
nose and using
Highly
language that
doubted.
can't be validated. So for example, the research said, in summary, somebody was entangled with the evolution of 2019 nCoV coronavirus. In addition to origins of natural recombination intermediate host, the killer coronavirus probably originated from a laboratory in Wuhan. Regulations may be taken to relocate these laboratories far away. So the language is like very
Simple.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Simple.
like my bachelor thesis.
like probably originated. You can't do that unless you have specific evidences, and you also have to, for everyone, you also have to take note that they absolutely lack the data to even know the facts, since they released the paper during the beginning of the pandemic,
So they're
which is
just throwing
still
out
early days.
allegations.
right
Yeah.
when it wasn't even a pandemic then. But this thing kind of like blew up, and until now people are still investigating and believing this to be true, because
Why?
because even politicians backed it up.
Oh
One
my God,
example is
no.
U.S. Senator
What?
Tom Cotton. He ignited the flame of this claim by stating that, "Don't let us not forget that this laboratory was a few miles away from a seafood market where a huge cluster of the first cases of COVID-19 was detected." He further states that the Chinese government is dishonest, so we need to ask questions to see the evidence. But also, according to him, China turned down U.S. government's offers to send scientists to the country to help clarify some questions. So that one person is just one of the many people who backed this statement up. And there are still ongoing articles and underground investigative networks that are trying to prove this to be true. Although there is already a research paper that was done by scientists from 9 countries, legit ones, and this article is published by Lancet and backed by AAAS, both licensed scientific research publications. So according to them, these scientists analyzed these genomes of the causative agent severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, or the virus that's making COVID-19. And they overwhelmingly conclude that this coronavirus originated in wildlife, which means it's from animals and transmitted to humans, just like other pandemics, and is no way believed that it was leaked from any laboratory. And they even said that they do not believe that any type of laboratory-based scenario is even plausible
Yeah.
for this to happen. So yeah. And then WHO also released a statement stating that no, as far as we're concerned, there has been no validation of these claims.
Theories. Okay.
Number 2 is just quite short.
Mm-hmm.
It's biowarfare division.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is
So there are 2. So one is from the leader of the far-right Liberal Democratic Party in Russia, Vladimir Zhirinovsky,
That one,
who
yeah.
told a Moscow radio station that he thought coronavirus
Moscow.
was an American bioweapon or a big plot by pharmaceutical companies to get richer, adding that pharmacists will become billionaires in
Oh my God.
2020.
shout
Big
out.
Pharma. Shout out Big Pharma.
Yeah, and White House officials also have accused Russia of creating thousands of fake Twitter, FB, and Instagram accounts to spread these theories. So they were saying that it was a bioweapon engineered by the CIA and that it was fostered to push anti-China message and to wage economic war on China. That's one. There's another one that it's a covert biological weapons program in Wuhan, or that it was smuggled from a Canadian laboratory.
Canada?
Canadian laboratory?
Yes.
Canada?
Because in 2013, this laboratory investigated the new cluster of coronavirus infections. But again, there are many types of coronavirus present in that certain lab, and they were
Canada?
studying MERS, not COVID.
Yeah.
Still.
So what made it even worse was that because Washington Times, this gossip article, theorized that the coronavirus was the result of a Chinese warfare program. They even interviewed this what do you call him? A former Israeli military intelligence officer. His name is Danny Shoham, who has studied Chinese biological warfare and said that the institute is linked to Beijing's covert bioweapons program. So yeah, he was working on the medical microbiology thing and military research from 1970 to 1991. So he was a senior analyst with Israeli military. And that somehow makes him a very, very viable source of information for underground secretive operation in China in 2020, because he worked from 1970 to
I think
1991.
if you're in that line of work and you retire, I think that's it for you, because that thing is bound to get to your head.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Oh no,
Maybe.
I'm just spitballing.
How would they even smuggle virus from Canada to China?
Canada!
What would they use? And Canada's like,
I love that it's Canada. First of all, I love that it's
Out of nowhere.
okay, are you ready for by far the most ridiculous one? And
Okay,
I
I'm
would say,
excited.
This is
like,
the most ridiculous
the-
one compared to. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. I think Heiko has a clue with this, so he could also like
yeah.
say stuff about it. The
May I
last
just
one
say
is,
that so for those who don't know, we're doing this in a Skype call, right? So we're not in
Right.
the same country. And may I just say the reception I get right now is great. Yeah. I can see you very
Yay.
well. Might be because I'm very well connected to the internet. Here you go.
oh yes. Speaking of internet, very good segue.
Oh.
Is it
The
internet
last, the last one is that 5G broadband system
It's a towers, man.
is the cause of COVID-19.
Oh my god.
So, okay, wait, I'll tell you a little bit of background about this. So, it started in March when Thomas Cohen, an American physician with, by the way, a medical license that is on 5-year probation at this point. This guy went on to a US health conference, and this health conference is also organized by questionable people with medical license either revoked or probationed. Just saying, just for you to know that. He proposed in this conference that 5G alters people's immune systems and that 5G changes people's DNA, making them more susceptible to infection.
It changes my DNA.
Yes. Why? Because of the strong radiation that comes out from your phones and your laptops and everything that has to do that with
How old is
5G
this doctor?
network.
How
system.
old is this doctor?
I got no age, nothing.
But
no.
most probably around the age of the people who were trying to grill Mark Zuckerberg.
Book good. That's the vibes I'm getting from this.
So it started early March, but this video was not taken down right away. It spread throughout Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and by the time it was taken down, a lot of people already believed it and even kind of like made it even more of a thing. So by March 16, there were millions of views already. And apart from that, by the way, Cohen also says, he added that, do you wonder why Africa doesn't have that much
Oh my god.
God.
cases
Oh my god.
by the outbreak? Because it's not a 5G region.
No, it's
Which,
because
by the
it's
way, is not
that-
true. Because
It's not that
WHO
televised.
confirmed thousands of cases. Yeah. WHO confirmed thousands of cases in Africa since the video was published. So,
Gosh,
sucks for you, Cohen.
They want to
Okay.
do everything to bash 5G. Yes?
You just
So I
bashing
read
phones.
that people in Africa don't get it because of the warm temperatures. You know,
Oh.
when
This
I'm
is
looking at the
also
blow
not-
dryer
oh.
conspiracy thing.
Yes.
They just open their mouth when the
Yeah.
wind comes in.
Drinking warm water.
Yeah,
Mm.
because they
Keeping
have
the throats
under the
moist.
sun.
Yeah.
So from that pinnacle of the conspiracy came a lot more people who created their own conspiracies based on that 5G thing. So there's one claim that says there's no COVID-19
Huh?
and that all those symptoms are just radiation from 5G.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wait,
This is M. Night Shyamalan
Do you have
stuff.
Google? Do you have Google up right now? Could you Google something? Which countries have access to 5G?
And well, yeah, because they were saying that the map, when you put them side by side, the map that where COVID is heavily affecting people, and the map where the 5G networks are built is the same.
No
Does China have
way.
access to 5G?
And that couldn't.
I can't.
And that couldn't be because that's where the most people are.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Because 5G network is needed by more people, and therefore when there's a lot more people in a certain place, COVID happens more,
The
right?
radiation.
No, it's not
man.
that. No,
But
it's
the
not that. It's the radiation.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Another, there might be COVID-19, but it's because of the radiation from the 5G that weakens your immune system to the point that you are more easily affected or infected by the virus. And
damn.
did you know
There's so
why?
many, there's
Did
so
you know
many.
why Wuhan was the first to be affected? Because China built over 100,000 5G towers. Duh. And what's worse, why this is kind of like the biggest conspiracy nowadays, that people are really believing it, because not just I may say ordinary people, average people believing it, but also celebrities tweeting about it and putting up evidences. One celebrity is named Carrie Hilson, which is an American singer and songwriter.
Who is
Her
that?
tweets,
Which we all know and love.
I don't
Who
know.
is that? Who is she?
I don't know, but she has a following. She has like 1,000 followers. So people have been trying to. She was like, people have been trying to warn us about 5G for years. Petitions, organizations, studies. What we're going through is the effects of radiation. 5G launched in China, November 1, 2019. People drop dead. See attached and go to my
People
IG
drop
stories
dead.
for more. Turn off 5G by disabling LTE.
Oh my god.
Does she have proof?
No, that's the proof. This happened, so this happened.
No.
That's it.
Where's the proof that this
Oh,
happened?
no, there's a proof actually that UK is sending messages, secret messages about this 5G thing conspiracy through their 20 euro bill. Because in that 20 euro bill, on the right side of the 20 euro bill, go ahead, Google that. There is
A 5G tower.
there's some
There's a
yeah,
chip?
there's a tower. There's a
Oh
tower.
my god.
A tower, and there's like a radiation
Radiation.
logo. Why do I keep messing that up?
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
yeah. So there's a logo there where it's a tower giving off radiation, and that's the 5G towers. But
Oh.
that tower in question is in fact the Margate Lighthouse.
It's a
You
lighthouse.
really
It's
went
not.
down that
I
rabbit
love-
hole, huh?
I love how it became a 5G tower.
Yeah, while the virus logo up that tower is a security feature called a purple foil patch for security measures for money.
Oh my god.
But no, it's 5G radiation
It's 5G
towers.
radiation.
Wait,
And
did
the
you say that
government
you-
of UK had to address it.
Did you say that the
Yeah.
UK was spreading this message?
Yes, secretly through their
Why
money.
the UK?
I don't know because they're
Because
the
they
only
have
ones
that
with
thing.
the bill.
Because
They have that
euro-
tower.
You mean the 20 euro bill or the 20 pound bill?
Pound.
Oh, sorry. Not 20 euro, 20 pound. Sorry, 20 pound.
I was just looking at my 20 euro bill right here.
Sorry.
Just wondering if I was just dumb and blind.
No. Sorry. It's their new because they released a new 20-pound bill. So yeah, and
Could be the cover-up.
that yes, that
They're
is
pretending-
what they're
Pretending
saying.
it's a watchtower, but it's actually a 5G tower.
5G tower.
Yeah. And what's worse is people who believe this are harassing key workers, like those working the towers and stuff.
Oh,
and
God.
5G towers are being set on fire.
Yes. There are videos of that.
Yeah, that's why the government had to address this issue. So anyway, the video was only taken down by second week of April.
When was it uploaded?
March,
Oh
early
my God.
March.
He's being
So
arrested.
WHO
Oh my
addressed it.
gosh.
And of course, assured that people that 5G network is nothing but a way to make your stream and gaming moments buffer free. It's not COVID-19.
I mean, a while ago, I was talking about those poor PR people in those disinfectant companies, hygiene companies.
Mhm.
You have to type down those messages about not
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah, now-
bleach. But
Yeah.
the WHO guys, they're so much worse off.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Like
Damn.
like I said a while ago, they've addressed hundreds of
Myths.
myths, and they're until now still trying to debunk them because more and more are coming. And what's worse is because people are now believing that COVID is a scam. People are also harassing health workers. Yeah, they're harassing health workers. Like in Mexico, one guy was brought to the police station because the police didn't want him to go home and leave the hospital where he was working. He was just done with his 16-hour shift, I think, or 12-hour shift, and
God.
then they stopped him in the street and sent him to the police station where he was harassed because when he came out, he couldn't go back to work because of his injuries. So now he's filing complaints to
Whoa.
their human rights office. That's just one in Mexico. Yeah. So, oh gosh, because it's very dangerous, really, what these conspiracy theories are doing. One, it's not healthy for the people who are not doing precautionary measures because they think it's not true because there's no reason to. And then those people who are resulting to violence because they think the health workers and the officials are the enemies.
Yes.
And that's very sad. So guys, look at your resources. I mean, sources. Look at the
Carefully.
data carefully. Fact check.
Don't trust everything you see.
Question the logic. For example, the introduction of 5G in 2019 coincided with the origin of COVID-19. So yeah, maybe they're connected. No, that's not how it works.
And there and we keep saying trust WHO and CDC, but of course they're gonna be people who are like, oh, they're the ones who's trying to
Right.
blah blah blah.
Big
Yeah.
Please,
Ooh.
like,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, because if let's say this happened because this happened, we could also say that Baby Yoda is the reason for COVID-19.
True.
Oh, I think
he won't
Baby
do that,
Yoda
though.
just come out of nowhere. Maybe he's bred. The
Yeah,
idea of
And the idea of him being cute is just a
ploy.
it's just a ploy for
He
us.
wouldn't
to
do that
no,
though.
never
He's
mind.
too precious to do
But
that.
yeah,
Oh.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. So you guys.
Also, for right now, if you're just adamant in your belief in these, what you call them, conspiracy theories, I urge you to repress those beliefs for now.
Yeah.
Help as much as you can to get us out of this virus cesspit that we're at now, and then after we're out of this virus
then
thing,
you can spread your
keep your mouth shut.
spend. Put your 2 cents in the piggy bank. Don't.
And bury it.
Yeah. Great point. Because even if it was created from biowarfare or because of biowarfare, and even if it was made artificially or man-made, who cares right now? People are dying.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you're not going to do anything about it, you're going to be part of the reason why people are
If you're just
still
gonna
dying.
shout about your theories and shout at our healthcare workers, get out of the way.
Do it in quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not just because we're jumping into the bandwagon of hating Trump or all that. It's because of what
It's already so alarming.
because of the misinformation that's spreading that is already destroying
It's
people's
actively
lives.
harmful, and we are doing our
Literally.
bit to prevent that from
oh my
spreading.
god, you just
And it's because we care about you a lot.
literally.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. What is our takeout for the day?
You just misbranded your own brand.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just a contractor, okay? All right.
Again.
Okay, what is our takeaway?
That rhymed. Our takeaway for today is a wonderful box of different kinds of sushi.
Yummy, but
There's like California roll, avocado roll,
those
what else?
are
Dynamite roll, tuna
and
roll,
actual
salmon
sushi
roll,
and actual sushi.
the sushi.
Those are maki.
Because I don't ever eat sushi. I mean, I do, but not a lot. I actually
She
eat a
was
lot
like,
of
oh,
maki.
the California
starts
roll, the
enumerating
maki
the
roll,
maki.
and the sushi. She doesn't know. Okay, so why? How does it connect? Why should they take that away?
Because when you're eating those type of food, like especially sushi, you always have to first make sure that the source is actually clean, identify where you're
Wow.
buying it from.
That you trust
Ah.
where you're getting it from.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes so
So-
much sense.
So you don't just intake it and put it.
You don't just eat.
Ingest
You
it.
don't just ingest it and then put it in your system without knowing if it's actually good for you
That goes
or it might kill you.
that goes parallel to the substances that have been said to be ingested into your system, and also
don't ingest
the
those.
information that goes around that
Mhm.
you should make sure you trust where it's from.
Yeah.
And doesn't it, when you're sure that the source is clean, isn't it more enjoyable and like you're relaxed while
Yeah,
eating it?
it's-
Because if you're
you're
not sure, you're
more-
like,
What you call it?
should I
You're
eat
more
I know.
this?
assured.
But I should also address people judging street food. So I know that there's a lot of street food market that are indeed dirty, but sometimes these are the parts of country's culture. So just as long as the place or the
people.
people are clean doesn't mean you have to discriminate the
Street
whole street food market thing. Okay? With
Just
that
get
in
your
mind,
street food
still
off the
though,
Came
streets,
from the
please,
heart.
just to be sure.
yeah, because Asia, coming from an Asian country, it's a big deal. Like street food in Asia
It's
is
a big part
deal.
of the culture.
It's a big part of the culture. And I've heard a lot of people who are trying to bash it and saying that our food is dirty, our food is icky, it comes from the food and blah, blah, blah. It comes from the food. It comes from the street, blah, blah, blah. So,
and
yeah.
Heiko, we let you try ice cream, right?
You
Sorbete.
did, yeah, it was positively delicious.
Yeah. So just know your sources. Question the logic, but do not be illogically questioning it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, bust some myths.
Debunk.
And that's about it.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm keeping that in. That was a good transition to the outro.
Yeah, very authentic.
I hope you guys enjoyed
very
that
lovable,
episode.
very human.
That was so interesting, guys. And it was both very interesting and very it boiled my blood because it's
Yeah.
like very mad. It's like it makes you mad.
Maddening.
It makes you mad. So yeah, if you wanna continue and get mad with us, follow our Instagrams. It's at Hanajipuri for Hannah. It's at potato_gami for Kuya Hamad, where he shows off his art and writing skills. He just did this thing where he asked for requests. It's really cool. Then at Heiko Heilig for Heiko, where again, say it with me. You're going to see a screen that says
No
posts
posts
yet. And at Yaspuri for me, don't forget to check out my YouTube. Spotify, I'm going to release more music soon.
Really, when?
Trust me, soon.
Okay.
And that's it for today's episode. Tune in next week to find out which takeaways we four weirdos have picked to talk about next. Hopefully that completes your order. Thanks for listening to
The
Four
Four
Takeaway
Takeaway
Podcast.
Podcast.
Would you like that for dine-in or for takeaway?
For takeaway.